our discussion about streaming. Isn't that meta? So if you want to find it, you go to YouTube. I have you can find me on YouTube, and I'm actually starting to stream here. This is actually going to be it right here. There's a picture of the stream that's happening. It's a little bit delayed from where we're at. So not that anybody wants to do that, and I'm pretty sure when I get back into this, I'll have to change things around. So I'm Jonathan Templin. Nice to see all of you. I know most of you, and good to see you again. So why do I stream? I guess this is where I'm getting to. I was looking this last year, so here's my webpage. I have a personal website where I post all of my class notes. So I teach statistics. I have a lot of course notes. And pretty much all courses I've ever taught are listed up there. And since about 2007, I started recording my course in some form, mainly because I have large lectures or semi-large lectures. But beyond that, the content is one of those things where I want people to have a chance to go back and hear me multiple times. So having an archive really helped. So I tried to archive it. I used MP3s to begin with way back in the day, but now video more recently, as soon as we got lecture capture software, 2012-ish. And then this year, I was just looking for a way to easily archive it and store it, so it wouldn't just be on the server that I pay for here. And I just stumbled across, I thought, well, why don't I just put it on YouTube? I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Turns out, did some research, there's this intellectual property policy that we're always told to remember. Turns out if you teach your own course, if you self-initiate your course and do this, you own the content. So you can choose how to display it wherever you like, with the only exceptions being, I think if you're trying to sell it to someone, then they probably don't want you to do that, but I'm pretty sure they wouldn't know if that's happening. So I don't know how much, maybe your course is more valuable than mine is. So you can do this, number one. Number two, when I found out this software, this open broadcasting software, it allowed me to play around with streaming the classes I have. So again, these are lecture classes, not all classes it works well with, but with big lectures, lots of students, content you might want to have repeated over and over again. I was able to start streaming my class. I did that for the fall, and I did that for the spring. And feedback I've received was that the students really liked the stream. It allowed them to, you know, if they had to miss class for whatever reason, they weren't always struggling to catch up because of things I might have said. I had students who were picking up, you know, people from the airport watching me on their phones while I'm giving lectures or so forth. So it's kind of fun to kind of allow people to go wherever they want to go. I'm not a big, I mean, these courses are statistics, so that doesn't really take a lot of, you don't have to be present for it. It's not like a discussion class or something. Not like we're going to discuss the theory of a t-test, most likely. There are some classes I do that in, but they're not big enough for public consumption. So how do I do it? Sorry, that's my motivation for doing this. The next thing I do, so once I looked around, there's this software called OBS, Open Broadcast System. This is an older version of it. And sure enough, it connects to a number of live streaming sites. And what the nice thing, you don't have to stream your content, but it makes it really easy to do so. So I stream it, and at the end of the stream, the content is archived. It has a link. I can add it to a playlist of the course, or I could add it to you know, Blackboard or wherever else if I want to have the content. I also this year did a flipped class where I did lectures outside of class, and then we had essentially in class was using computer programs and so forth. So I use this to do that as well. But it's really nice because, again, the archiving, the capture of it just happens in the background. You don't have to worry about it. Very much like Echo 360 does, but then instead of having the content buried on one of the university servers or hard to get to, it's just out in the public. So let's see here. OBS. OBS is this freeware software. There's a bunch of paid software out there, but I found, of course, I'm looking for free. And it's really flexible. So this is an example of this picture here. You start it up. That black spot there is what gets displayed on the stream. So if you go over to my live dashboard, that right there is a picture of my screen that's being broadcast throughout. And I can put onto this black screen anything that I can capture through the computer. And so this sources area right here has a bunch of things I can add. Input, audio input and output, sort of automatically puts the audio in, which is nice. has a browser. You could put all sorts of game stat capture. Jordan, you were saying that you had a way to keep a scoreboard capture on one of your things. So there's real easy, and then you can layer it. So I don't usually put my video on here, but I was just trying to make a demo of it. Nobody needs to see me, but you can layer it with the different videos that you want to put on top, and make the display how you want it to build up. I then went to YouTube, and I used my KU email address. I have a personal YouTube account on Gmail, but you can use your KU email address to create a YouTube account. So I did that to make it look a little bit more official. And when you do that, first of all, people can subscribe. I have 66 subscribers. I have a big extended family. No, just kidding. But they, so when you do that, you have a channel effectively. Now you have a YouTube channel, which my kids think are cool. My dad's on YouTube. Who isn't these days, right? Under this, there's a live streaming section right here. And in the live stream at the bottom, there's an encoder setup right there. This is the URL. You don't normally need this because OBS loads this in live. The main thing that you need is to create basically a password. They call it a stream name or stream key. And with that information, you go back into OBS, go into settings, and you put the stream key right up there. It has options for different YouTube servers or other servers out there, and that's it. Once it's in there, you open OBS, you put start stream, and it's piping it up to YouTube, however you like to do. That's as simple as it gets. Once I figured it a little bit out, it took maybe 15 minutes tops to go from beginning to end for it. So I think that's pretty cool. The other thing I have a problem with this is, so a lot of times I do statistics. So, what's a stat class without a whiteboard or a chalkboard, right? So I found an app called Reflector, and I can mirror my iPad screen onto my laptop, and now I can record the whiteboard. I get an Apple Pencil. This is my discussion topics for today, little notes of what I wanted. And so here I can do my equations. I can y equals beta 0 plus, like that. Right? And so now everything I capture, I can write as course notes. My terrible handwriting, it's recorded. It's also saved. I'm using OneNote as an app here because we have a campus license for Microsoft. But even this I can link to my website with the course notes so people can see those as well. It's almost like recording the chalkboard or whatever else. So I found this to be nice. I mean, everything that we needed. I guess if there's an input for a smart board or a whiteboard or something like that, we probably could record it through OBS as well, simultaneous, and you could have it overlaid on top of the screen or different things. Andy?
So what do you write? You're writing on the screen?
Yeah, I'm writing on an iPad with an Apple Pencil. And so I just take notes, on here. They're saved to, so people can see it. It's a workaround I had. If you had a, touch screen, a Surface, something that would broadcast it directly, there is the YouTube app and also Reflector. You can see right here, there's a record button. Reflector also streams. You can also record it and send it to YouTube. But I often need things that don't have iPad access, like R, for instance, to do statistical analysis with. So that's, here you can see my list. I think I've covered all of my topics in less than 10 minutes. But anyway, that's what I do. I found it to be, my students have really appreciated, I feel like they appreciate, the comments I've gotten they've been appreciative about the flexibility it provides. Oh, I forgot. Show you what happens when we're all done here. When I'm done streaming, I just hit the stop button, stop recording. It ends it. I flip over to YouTube, and in my Creator Studio, under Video Manager, there will be a new entry.
If it's not streaming, also it's not recording.
No, it'll automatically do it. It just takes a couple minutes for it to display a link to it. But it'll have, this is all the stuff. You have my online lectures, have my in-class lectures, and so forth. It'll be populated there, and then I can choose to do whatever I like with it. I could put it on YouTube. I can put it on my website. I can give class a link with it. You can keep things private. You can not display it to the public if you'd like. You can just have a private link to it as well. But that should be it. It's not showing up now for a moment. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer than others. Still says it's live. That's why. I hit stop recording.